In this video recorded during the Dublin chapter meeting, our demonstrator, Colum Murphy from the Dublin chapter, demonstrates and provides hints and tips for thin wall turning. His final piece is a bendy flower.
Thanks very much. That's it. Yeah. Thanks very much for being invited. Just didn't get a huge amount of time to prepare, but I'm just going to do one quick I think called tin wall turner. With that, and then I'm going to do different pieces of you and finish up there with. I'll show you the pieces, I have some demonstration pieces there. But what this is here, that's tin wall turner for Pearson. It's I was over with Helen Bailey and she was over with me, and she went through a procedure of doing this, if anyone is into Pearson, and getting your walls of your tin, so tin. I'm only going to go through the procedure of it. It's a slow process, but I'll show you how it's just done, or how I was taught, and it's after that, it's practice and patience when you're doing it. I'm just going to chew this piece up first and put a foot on it. So. Just a lot of mine. If you ever find that something is a little bit wobbly on the lane and you have variable speed, before you stop it in the panic, turn down the speed, because it's a little bit wobbly, the minute you stop it, she's going to flip in reverse on you and come off the lane. That's why I slowed it down there. Anyone that can turn left-handed is on an advantage when they're speeding up timber. That was it. Yeah, I won't do it because I said that I could do it under the belt. But the total advantage of being able to turn left-handed, if you're turning right-handed, the shades are coming into you. If you can turn left-handed, shades are going away from you. So this one, let's see the release what they do. I just noticed a small bit crack in it there a second ago. I just had to see it and I turned it out of it. Yeah, I think it'll be alright. Switch over from I think it's going to cause very major problems. Right, I'm just going to set up there for the foot. We have to change the belt. I would be increasing the torque on it if I change the belt. And that's why the leg is slowing down on me. And a big chisel, and a heavy cut. And you just have to clean up the face of it, you should stop the leg. Just get your chisel nearly flat, and then just clean the face. This makes it much easier when you're coming to the end, that you don't get any little jump. So you do it, that's really good. Yeah. Everybody knows there's a little secret in marking with the dividers. Just have your left wing of your dividers on it, pick it up. So left wing, that's it. There's a small cut in this. So I'm just turning in. There's that chisel there. level on the whole time. I have this one set up, this chisel here, and you can see it is set up for the angle of my chuck. So I'm literally going to bring it in. On tin wall turning, and any turning really. I always want the chisel just in there at the very end. As everybody knows, that point in there is the most important point. That when you're going to flip it, that it's square on the face of your chuck, no matter what chuck you have. So I'm just going to clean the face of this now and then reverse it, and we'll start to turn. I'm going to just change the chisel there to 8 gauge. Starting way back out. And the bevel is on it. That's a paper.
Sorry, without talking about judges and competitions, I forgot to ask the 3 judges. Graham, Joe, 1 more. Graham, Joe, 1 more. And James.
That's why these are the top left things we talk about. That's why I say it's so important that you get your torque right. If you find it slow down, drop your pulley on your belt. Just as it's coming to the end there, you slow down slightly. And that's where it's not bothering the tiny little tool like kind of tear out there, because you slow down, I mean, it's trouble. I'm not going to bother with it. Now, with an American tin wall turn, you don't bother. You don't sound when you finish the elbow. The most important thing to have. And you never have problems taking there? Yeah. You pull the arms out, you grab it there, you put the fingers off yourself. That's the investment. One of those clips. Now just take the face plate off. Now I'm just going to use a big small jars, the 100, a bit more 100, and I put all the now, very important to get this. If any questions or if people don't understand me as well, can't. He said at the seminar that my English wasn't great, thought his English was better than mine. But anyway, that was after a few points. But now, and this is where, if you're doing tin wall turning and you're going down to a mill or wherever you're going, if there's a little bit of movement in this, and you'll always get a tiny bit of movement, no matter how well you do it, go back into it. What you'll do is, you're going to shear cut it straight. And you're going to take the bit like this. We're taking the canvas off at the table. So the chisel down at my hip, 45. And we say that that's spot on. And this is a calipers like that. That's a really good looking around. I actually got it for Joe there years ago. I know Carl had some of them. This sets up, you tighten in that screw, and it starts to open the gap there. So whatever you want to go to, a mil, 2 mil, you won't go to. I'm afraid this with you today on myself. So we go to that. So you lock that in and the locking nut there. That will set up your diameter. I've been set up a piece around here, there are some pieces that I don't. Outside that it would be not so expensive here because it's there's some of that calipers. Send them around. There's a couple of bits that you can do with a natural edge and a standard piece, and the diameter should be the same right throughout. And if you're, especially if you're doing competition or something like that, especially for the nationals, that if you're doing a bowl or anything, they're going to see that you have uniform down and around. So that's a bit big. So let's set it with that. Yeah, set that with that. That's it there. So all we're going to do again a little bit is just take some weight out of the centre. Probably need to stop off for this. I'm just going to start to remove the centre. And here we go. A little bit height. Yeah. Okay, I'll just take it out in layers. Little layers like that. You've always the shoulder then, the back of your chisel to go, the chance to run back. So if you're bringing the face at the point of the chisel, that grind is known as the Irish grind. It's a long grind. Bring in the point, the ear's fast. Even as she's trying to run away on me. So you have your shoulders there, so just keep going. That's a very quick way to take it out. I really need to tell you about the place. I am going to put some weight in the bottom for support. Level out in all times. So we're getting down to the So I could go half an inch, max an inch at a time as we're tinning it out. We'll take the chisel in a minute. As I'm looking at that, I'm looking at the curve of the outside. I'm looking over there. But if I look over there, I see the depth of my foot. If I look in here, I see that I follow the rotation or the profile of the outside. Okay, now we're going to stop to 3/8 down. Just have to bring the two wrists a bit closer. And really and truly, what's very important in doing this, believe it or not, your tool rest. If you have any jacket or anything on your tool rest, it's going to hop on you. That's a hard steel Max Sanger rest. It's all present actually. I want to be in here. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to go the full way because it is very, very slow process. Let's see how thin I am now. If you can see that on the top there, just as I'm coming in there, she's opening up there on me. I have to look from this side. I can put my foot on the top there to see it. There she is there closed. I'm putting it in there. See it opening? So you need that. I'm just going to a little bit, a tiny bit more. Just so I won't be here keep you here half the day. But if you're doing tin wall, this is the process. It's going to take you, it's probably going to take you an hour to do the inside, if you're going to take your time and get it bang on. Yeah. That's it. I need to. Good. We're good there. That's it there. A tiny bit. We're going to take it to another tiny cut on the outside. We're down nearly to a mill there. And this is where. Let your bevel run on it. Let your bevel come back. Roll the chisel into it. Very small cut. Very small cuts and very sharp chisels. That's it there now. We'll set it to that. Which is, I'm making it smaller rather than bigger. That's why. That's why I was getting.
Oh,
yeah.
You get much vibration now as thinner you're going, yeah?
That's why you have to, as you go along, that every half inch you have to finish it. You're going to get vibration. But that's why you keep a bit of weight on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're keeping the weight on it all the way down till you get to the very end. And even at the end, you're going to roll back in at the end. You can't put that into a button jaws. You can't put it in, so you have to make just a jam up the tail stop. That's where it comes into the end of it. We're going to call it a bit squeaky at the end. When the end of that is rounded, you've nearly got to know what you've left on it. So you'll be taking it on and off. That's if you round the bottom. If you're putting a flat bottom on it and leave the stub, you're not so bad. You can finish most of that to the inside. But if you're going to that level of, as I say, precision that Helen Bailey goes to, if you ever look up Helen Bailey's website, the stuff she does is stunning. And I'm talking to her, and I find it hard to believe that she said, and all the time she's demonstrating that she's over in South Africa at the moment. She's only a level 1 piece blower. I've had a few already. I haven't done many. But anyway, it's a patience thing, you know. That's maybe, like to say that women turners seem to have that little more patience than us men have. But anyway, it's taught me a little bit of patience in turning. But it's so important. So important that the chisel is razor. I have a short line with that now. That's going in there now and there. Yeah, this is where it comes down to it. Right. That's where I'm a little bit, tiniest bit heavy, just at that point there. So we're going to move down. There, you can see the bottom here. Start to move there. So there. What I'm going to do there now, that is, and that's where I'm starting my next cut. That outside cut is done. I'm not going back on it. Ever. So I'm coming back in here, just leaving the bevel on, trying to pick up my cut just before that pencil mark. And so on. And you're going to go down, and down and back, and do the same thing all the way down. Have I done enough for people to understand the procedure of that rather than keep it here away? So we're going to do a little bit more of the training for it now. One of my favourite ones is one, I think most people know it's you, so that's where I'm going to do a few pieces. And normally I would forget. I always have myself a good few days beforehand, get myself prepared, but I was busy all day Thursday and I was at the dentist yesterday and I didn't get much chance to just looking for it. Have we a fork problem for that? No? No? Oh, yeah, fork problem for that. Okay, put something else in there. Fork problem here. Probably always have one in here. Right, you look at it, how you look at it? Yeah. Let's go with this. Is Vincent there? No? Do we have a 4-prong truck in the box for this? You don't know? It would have come with it because they all come with a 4. All these come with a 4-prong truck. Don't see it there in that. The centerpiece is there. You have a box of trucks in that one. If not, I live with this here. Now, this is a little thing I do and I like them. Really enjoy them. Tiny little, they can do them. I showed you them starting. The foot is left on the bottom of one of them. But they're tiny little. You get the little fork of the tray, the crotch of any tray. I do them now up to 16, 18 inches. But no. I live with this. Yeah, right. So we just put on the I'd like someone to tell me. I found it in the yard. I don't know what. It looks like a bit of elm or something. Or, I don't know what it is. It's probably a piece of wood. No problem. I'm sure I had one myself. But I would have had one because they come with it, you know. Anyway, we're okay. Yeah. Looking at tail stuff in this, I don't even use the pint, I use the pure flat one that you use for your lamps. It's just so fiercely big. But the reason I drilled this at 25mm, it takes the 4-prong and it stops any real movement. I'm sure we get away with this. I'm just going to put this off now, just do it. Yeah, it's okay. It'll be alright. Really, I need He's probably going to get a few actually listed. I think you have to open this up to change the pulley down, right? I don't know, I'm taking it offside. Just make life a little easier for all of us. Is there a lever there? No? I hear it there. Okay. Now, should be. Make life a little bit easier. Here's yours. More torque. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the outside edge of that. We're going to make ourselves a little as we go. You can see where I'm going to be putting there now. You've seen the outside edge of it. Then I'm going left-handed. I'm just doing it. See the difference it makes when changing the belt? It's much more tough. And I was at 2,500 revs there at one time with the last one, and she was sticking at me. I'm only at 1,400 and a smaller pulley. So there, as you can see now, we're starting to clean it up. We're seeing the 3 grains and the 3 knots. Be a bit more aggressive now. Again, this is similar to tin wall touring because you're going to be touring it very thin to make it look anyway, right? Now, if you look at that there now, I've done this focus, you don't normally do it. See what happens with you or even see the breakout? You won't stop it on the turn like that. So what you've got to do, which is not in the manual, I wouldn't have that normal breakout there. You have to back cut. I need a little bit more speed, so I'm going to back cut. So let your bevel rise all the way back. So you hear the chatter will stop. There's the chap will stop. Take it in a millimeter. Start to take your foot. And again, I can still see the slits over there. They're probably in because I normally wouldn't. Yeah, we need to have it all over. See that? You're cleaner, you're getting your cut there. You take one more cut, even push it away there so you can get one more cut on it. Get your tool resting good and tight. You're going to hear flicking off it, it's only that flicking off it. And coming back in on it, I just want that glass to get off, I can see it there. Yeah.
When you're doing the back cut, and then you're going to go forward again, you keep your wrist on the tool rest the whole time to make sure you're not going to slip in.
See like this?
Yeah, you keep it on the tool rest hard as you're backing up and then as you're going forward, so you don't actually miss the cut when you're starting again. You know what I mean?
I have very light weight when I'm coming back because I don't want to be pushing the chisel into it. So I'm very lightweight there as I'm coming back here. And I hear it clicking there, clicking. Then I put away. I'll open up my chisel to about 25 past 11. I'll keep it to be flat on the back and the flat on the back of it. And then as I'm coming back into it, I'm just coming back in there. And I have weight on the chisel there now, yeah. I take the heavy foot back down there. And I bring my body close right to chisel tucked in there. I have great control. I'm going to put a big foot to this now and you'll be able to reverse it and walk it. Again, I'm at 20 to 2 there, putting at that point, clean it off. A very quick put. Now, people talk about big chisels, small chisels, create ½ inch. That's a ½ inch. 99% of my work is done between a ½ inch and a 3/8 gouge. 40 spinning gouge is purely for cutting fingers and small, delicate work we do later on. But the likes of this, have an edge to put. Every favourite is the 3/8, probably one of my favourites as well. But I do so much probably big corners, but that's so used to this chisel. And I don't promote really anyone's chisels. I do like this Simon Hope one. I want to put a tiny shoulder on that there, but because if I want to shear cut it, I just walk along. But I've used most of them, and most of them have good quality steel, and most of the recognised chisels have good quality steel. I like these in the ½ inch, the Simon Hope, because the handle's very heavy. The bar is thin. But what I did find, and I said it to Simon, and he brought it out now with an Allen key. If I put the ½ inch bowl gouge there on the smaller collet, I find from doing it, it's a little bit off centre and going in. I'm getting vibration in it because he's vibrating inside in the barrel in there. Now it's great for stuff you're doing deep, but I just noticed that there when I was doing something one day. Why am I getting a chatter? And that's how I was getting the chatter. But otherwise, it's happy to. Plus they're easy to transport. You just open, drop the chisel in, and you don't have to bring it much. And double-ended, obviously. That's okay. I have another one. Yeah, I have a 45, probably in a 50 degree, and a 45 and a 50 degree angle with the background back for the inside of bowls, and that's why 90% of the time we use mostly for bowls. Now, I'm happy with that. If I did want to clean that up to perfection, a tiny little King's bowl here, and I would just, this is where we get away with it. Right at the top. But some wood, I'll just run out at the top. I won't put the very last bit. There's a lot of woods that you, but that's, I won't tell you that. There's a lot of woods you won't get away with as handy as this back cutting, tiny high point there. For the reason being is that it'll tear. So if you come up with, you've a market that has come up as far as and you get 90% clean sandpaper. As the fella says, the 40 grit roughing gouge to do it. Little tiny height right there in the middle. You get it slow and steady. I'm coming to go set and release it off there a little bit here. Let's walk to the end. I'll just let that run out. And you will feel the difference in the top and that little cut that I done there, and I'll pass it around. Now, just double check this up there. Great little truck this, it's an Axminster. She's a gripper truck, but she doesn't have a stop at the end of it. So it means you can put in a piece I can put this in there now. As you see the piece I passed around, you can go into it without having to do any more work on it. Now, take that back. It's just it. Now, so she'll open up enough now to take the full length of that. I will be using the small, very small, definitely using the 3/8 gouge there, but maybe even smaller. Now it's only a matter of doing what we did before, and if you do notice it on there, take it off afterwards. That's the damage you do even with one cut, and I've taken 3 or 4 clean cuts of that afterwards. So even from the start, you're better off back cutting. Now, then slow down, see what you like. Now again, much the same thing. Start taking it in. Again, I'm starting off with that, I'm just rolling into the centre. And as it shows now, when I want to get out to the back of here, I'm taking this up to 1600. All over. That's what happens. Beautiful. If you don't look. Now. See the catch I got there? Came in with the edge. So, let's see, can we rectify it? I hate losing out on something. The beauty of these as well, they will lock it. They will lock it. Look at the centre of that. And we won't do that again. No, you won't get it bang on the centre, but you won't be too bad. It'll be very small at the moment. Really cute though. Now, this is what I'm just going to say. And God, little mishaps, little mistakes. Take a deep breath. And chill for 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And, yeah, and then just go back. Take a small little push. I'm trying to do it too quick. I'm trying to do that too quick. I took my eye off that chisel for 1 second. And this chisel is so sharp that it's just such a button next to the corner of it. Just mind the last, but there was a beautiful cut. You go back and try one again. On the first. And believe it or not, that's the first one again that ever happened to me. So there you go. Right, so just going to shake it up again. I mightn't have had a big enough shoulder on it, and a very small shoulder on it. And as everybody knows, that's where your strength is on your But I'm trying to get out of the habit of leaving chisels on the bed, because when you're working and they're flipping them over, they're going over and they're taking the edge off them. Now for the tube for this. There's a few more, but it's a nice demonstration. There's a nice demonstration set up for after the tea break. We'll leave it at that. Really, I just the shape isn't doing it really good. You can also, with the long grind, you can also, if you're using dovetail jaws, like it usually do it, is when you're coming in, make your dovetails with the gouge yourself. I don't always use the skew. It's just you've got probably so used to it. Now, plan B. You won't get many peanuts at this point anyway. What do we get there? No. A little bit more finesse is the finesse.
In those samples you sent around with a very small recess.
Sorry?
In those samples you sent around, tiny ones with a very small recess in the back. What kind of chuck did you use to hold that? It's only going a millimetre.
On the tin ball which I sent around, they would actually probably have one there. I have to put them in. I'll be doing it after later on when the jam truck how to take them off. There's loads of them here. Actually, none of what I worked for, I sent out a piece, and you can send out loads of pieces here that I have. Just a couple of absolutely, there's a foot on some of them, and then I take a foot off later on and I'll show you how I do it. But there's a piece that has three branches coming out of it. Has a bit of the boring that has two. I said, no, that's end grain. There's three branches going up like that. I turned that there last week. Now, at times it was a bit, I have to say, because of the fact they cut me. And we're just going to this there for a second, just to explain if I'm not going to keep too long. When you're cutting in this way, you're turning the side here. If you're back cutting, you're turning that side. And if I'm back cutting, done the least damage. When I was cutting in full phase, it was turning, drifting it apart, but you have to go back and sand the edges. But it was the first time to try something like that now, I was actually pleased with it turned out. I leave them out now, tea break, and you can have a look through the whole lot. But there's two more with the feet on them, and when you take the feet off, then this way you're going to jam you're going to make a jam choker. You're just rounding off. You're rounding off something like that. I generally put a bit of table router mat in front of it. It gives it a grip, but that'll grip it anyway. And then you bring up the tailstock, and you bring it into it in 3 or 4 mil. You clean it, and then you take the last little bit off with the sanding pad. That's the easiest part of the whole lot. But the whole key is if the base, you're tin on the bottom, you must get your profile of your chuck, your jam, to really match. Like say the likes of this here, when you go to take the bottom of that, you'll make your piece to fit that simple score. Because here the back is very weak, and you come in and press your chisel on it, if there's any give in it, it's going to practice, it's going to pop it, yeah. Now, smaller chisel this time. Mrs. Phillips' behaviour is not the shorter grind I had it there. Each grind. Go with this one. I think I took the same thing again. Okay. Now, again, I'm just going to you try to clean off it a little bit. The catcher the last time. What was I focusing today? I had it. You hear that jumping there? When that's jumping there, it's catching the knot. She's trying to cut through the knot. So now again, she stops tracking on it and go in. Going up to about 10 o'clock. And coming back to centre. Oh yeah, happy with that. Happy with that. Go to that outer edge and just let it, there's a little bit of weight on the bottom there, and that's just want to know smaller. I'm trying to start off on the bottom wing there, just there at that point, and then roll it onto the top wing. So I'm happy with the front foot now. So there we are. Now I'm doing it around. I have a double bevel and that chisel there, so that allows me to take it in around the bottom there without having to have one more cut on this, and that's us. Again, I'm just trying to find my bevel. Yeah.
Double bevel?
Sorry? Yes, I sent her out to this. She's beveled there, she's beveled here at the back. If she stopped if you have the standard grind on them, up like there, it's just double beveled. But I have to down, just go for what I want to do later on. If you're coming around, that edge there is going to catch for you come in, and it's going to mark. Actually, this is already marked that this is so small. So I have to go with a very small chisel again. This one, what I call my bottom chisel. I don't have a double bevel on it, which I normally would have, but I'll probably get the last one for a whole bunch of it. Because I'm a bit of chatter on this because of the fact, yeah, I get the cut with it. It's not brilliant. Not bad, it's not brilliant in the cut. If I just double bevel on this now, I'd be able to get in much better and much cleaner. But that's not bad. You see a tiny tool mark there, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Now you can go with, it's not something I love using, but I've made it. Small demonstrator. A lot of people use them. On centre, negative rate. If you have positive rate, train the scraper down. Just meet in the middle. Take up and down if you get any nodule in the middle. So just give it but it's only feather I'm taking. Again, sharpen that side first, then sharpen this side, and keep the bore on the top. Yeah, that's good. Don't press that one. Don't hold now. Keep the bore off. Over edge. Yeah, that's your little bowl there in that respect. Now, if we time I put a few pieces I'm going to do, but if we time later on or something, you can do bigger pieces. And I've done them up to 20 inches. So back again, I do the other ones off centre. That I will leave that in the bowl, top of the bowl. That'll be split, a big piece of you or whatever, that'll be split in half. I meant to bring one with me and show you how it's done. And then that forms your bowl. But then your inner bowl comes out around here. So you're going to chuck it twice and centre it back. And when that is there, the centre of your bowl goes from the edge of the crotch. And that's how we're saying back to the centre. So the centre of your bowl will be centred there rather than there. So you double chuck it. And it actually makes a lovely job. But, I don't have one with me, but I meant to bring one with me. But I'll throw these other pieces out there. You going for tea or what? Have I time? Tea? Yeah? Go for tea. Grand. We get ready for the next demo. Thank you. No, yeah, go back. Now, going to turn this. Oh, nice. We'll do a little twist at the end after we turn this. Again, it's not the quickest thing to turn, it's another patient thing. The most important thing on this is looking at the pieces here, other than that, I've been going off centre an awful lot more. It's so important, if you look where the pit is there, and the pit is here, that you line up this stem here, if you line that up in the centre of the pit, you're guaranteed the stem is going to break. So you want to go where it works, where the thing is at its strongest, and that's just off the centre, where the growth rings are good and tight. You won't really do this with timber that's wide grain, maple, tight grain that any of them is very good for it. So then this wide grain, you see how tight the grain is on that. So you've good strength. I have turned that thinner than that, but now Michael Fay is turning down to probably 0.5 millimetre. But anyway, we're going to do this. We'll have a little twist to do at the end of it now and see what it works for us. But anyway, we'll attempt to do that. So just by putting this in to the chuck here to get it squared up, and I can see that I'm okay here on the line here as well, that I'm away from the pit. So all I'm going to do now to start is to just take some of the weight off it and put a chucker point on it.
When you have part of the pit in that, are you avoiding it completely?
Widen the pit completely. Yeah. If you really wanted to be totally pedantic, if you really wanted to be like, you'd measure back off the centre of the pit on both ends of it and really get it bang on. At that stage, you'd be putting it into either four-prong. You can put it into the four-prong or step centre, and that would give you the centre. And actually, I think I might even do that because I'll only probably lose the bottom of that otherwise. So, just hold it. Have to do this as a manual. You can see it better if it's in the steps. it is going to be slightly off centre. The legs should be solid enough to the floor to make it. So I'm just going to bring off the tip there. So that take that there. And because I'm not going to chuck, I'm going to use the step centre on the back as well for more support. So I'm off the centre of the pit there, and I'm off the centre of the pit there. Yeah, much the same. I'm really good and tight. I've got the step centres. I'll get the longer turners for the minute. Really all I'm going to do is clean it up. What I'll do first is, that's going to be my choke there, and that's going to be the base here. So I'm just going to get a rough and damage there. I'll take it like that. Yeah. So we just get started. So just going to take this over. I'm not going to take anything off the top edge, obviously. That's going to be our flower. I have to have speed on this. So that's stop it. So it's literally, we just take the weight off it. Just makes it easier to have to wear machines to do anything else. And bring back that from the back of the head playing horn and later even put a hat around on me. There's a lot of stitches and that, and I have to wear something very light for the wearing machine. I'm just doing more. I won't make the stem of the flower that big. I'm just going to save it with time. So I'm looking at it there now, that's starting into the profile of my flower. It's all the chemical at the bottom of this, you see the everything there. Okay. That's all. Again, we're going to start here, 5. So that's the best thing to use. If you do want to kind of use by hand, don't use it. Definitely don't use Now, if you want to use anything to base your distance in, use this. So if you put in these onions, you can't sitting back at you, and in particular, this book now is if you put one of them on it, you can swing back up and put the jar off it. Whether you Not too small, that's too small. As I say, I don't go around promoting tools, but if ever I got good chucks in my life, the Vic Mark 100, 120, I don't think there's anything really to match them. Simon Hope will be over at the seminar. We're not over cheap, but I definitely get value for money for the strength that's in them. Just keep the tail stuck on just for a minute before we start to hollow out. Form our shape for. It's good and tight. There. Look at a nice bit now. Rough and gouge, ball gouge, either take it down, take a little bit of rough and gouge. Values on that, we go to ball gouge now. So just very simply, what I will do, of course, is mark where I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish somewhere there. These are my kind of mark here where I'm going to finish. Is when I'm down, so a lot of the ones I throw will be could be off centre. When I'm down the semi so thin, I don't want the vibration. Hit and miss, I just want to be able to go in at the end, nice and clean. So that's be the bottom bar. Now, it'll be the bottom bar, no? That'll be the bottom bar. Yeah, alright. Okay, let's start to shape it up. Down to 1800. And then again, you can go up to 2.5 left. It's all right. I do it alone. Now, whatever you do here, you can make a small fire. That's just steady your flour no matter what. Yes. You're not really going to go back in the back of it afterwards, so we're going to make just a small little flower on this. I can do that. I'm not on the edge there yet, that's good. So,
like to keep the ends uneven. Give it a bit
Yes.
of character. You do.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes I cut them off at 45. Rugby 45 would be 15 degrees off, yeah. Same way, if you ever done Christmas trees and you're doing them every year, like months and time. The kit doesn't really matter on the Christmas tree, obviously. So I'll go in there, and it will rotate like that. But when you see the tree then coming through it, you're getting the whole hardwood coming up through the middle of it. Other than that, it's going to be plain because you're only going to get the hardwood a little bit there and there when you do it. So totally offset, and that's kind of, on the same principle as that, yeah. Okay, that's what you get your last cut.
You mustn't use much sandpaper then. So very
The
fine.
fella said one time, I don't know who said it to me one night, when he was doing the demo, very funny. He said, I'd start at 400 quid when you'd scratch it. No, it does actually, and there's two huge pluses in getting clean cuts and having it. It takes you 20 seconds, 30 seconds to sharpen a tool. If you have a tool mark in it, take it 10-15 minutes to take it out. Plus the sawdust poisoning you. The big plus. You know, even when I started, I get one more cut out of it, but you're not getting a cut, you're just tearing the timber out of sharp edges. And then if you look at any of them now, that's just a fresh cut. It's razor. But I nearly lost my sense of reason a couple of years ago. I just lost my, well, they were brilliant at sharpening, but I could always sharpen with the jigs and all that. But I was doing probably my second demo. Something was here, I think it could have been at East Central. But you think I could get an edge on the chisel without a curve there? And I really put the chisel drawing, blame everything. And then I realised, well, in fairness to Clark Ireland, showed me a different way of sharpening. And even the way I sharpen now with the, I only really use the Wolverine jig now. I use the Pro Edge skews, rough and gouted. But it's got to say so I can nearly sharpen by hand. Because you're literally doing the same thing. You're looking at the edge. Like rotating and rotating on the Wolverine is great, but you've got to remember you're grinding this side twice. You're grinding that only once, grind that twice. So you grind till you get that edge. You're looking down at it. If someone has a minute, you're looking down at it and you've got that edge straight on your stone. Come back and get in. Sometimes you have to bring it down. To get that square, you have to go down further on your wing. So when you get that good and straight, that's when you marry the top piece in. And it's absolutely fantastic way of sharpening. But I was 4 or 5 years turner and still not really good at sharpening. But the difference it has made to my turning is untold.
So you say you used the
The Pro Edge for skews, chisels, obviously, definitely for the scrapers. I don't scrape that often, but yeah, it's easy set up. The one thing with the Pro Edge, I might now change it a bit with the screw, a flat with the screw, because you're caught between the different cogs on it. I can move mine up a small bit up and down now. I put a lock and like that, like what's on the end of that on it. So I can actually move half the distance or be whatever. And it's much easier than trying to loose and clip it. But yeah, the Pro Edge is a fantastic tool, as I said to people, it doesn't, very difficult to do the long grind. I know Kieran Reynolds does it, but he does 50% of it by hand. You know, now the last thing is this timber's a bit wet, so anytime you're throwing any bit of wet timber, just double check, because with the moisture and shit he's up, just double check that she's tight. This timber is a little bit dry for what I want to do, but we're going to get a bit of vibration noise now from it. We have to live with it. Again, go down the stages. There's two ways of doing this. You go in, further out you come, the more vibration noise you're going to get into it. And the more chance. It's no different than the she's trying to point back at the knot. And that's it, just hold it. We'll see if I have to go. Yes, if she's fighting that there, that's exactly where she's. So you just have to have your hand there. I'm not hold it. Strong there going in there. And she's doing her best just to spin back. She's going for a bit of softer, a bit of harder. So this is what I say, I'm taking bigger cuts. If you're doing this, it's much the same as tin wall touring. If you're doing it, it is soft and gentle and small cuts. Same as coming from the outside. I'm holding that there. My arm is really locked onto the tool rest of that. Now I can also bottom wing, much safer, put it all together, especially on finishing. So you're going to bring it in. If you try to do it too hard, you're going to hear this. And you don't like that, but you will get a bit of vibration. That's all you're taking. Now I hope this light isn't going to affect the cameras. It does let me know, so we just keep up the way they are, but this is quite little light. I'm going to do something like this. It magnetizes on here, and you can see right into it. John Ward, this is John Woods in England. He supplies them. I think you're getting a few places now. See, now if you go in too deep, you're going to get that vibration. The difference that light makes is that's not affecting the scene at all. So, John Woods is his name. His name is John Woods. I get the company for you, yeah. Don't think he's coming over there. And if not, I'm probably going to go to Hang. I know Franklin's going to Hang. It is John Woods, isn't it? Yeah, it is John Woods, yeah. He does all the bits for the piercing and the whole lot. That's probably his main. And if you want to just put a bit of flair onto it, bring it up to the top now, we're going to start to bring it out, and you are going to have to just handstand that little bit there. But we start to, we're not far from where we want to be now. I'm okay there, there's plenty of strength in the middle. I'm going to leave that at the bottom of my No, I want to use the bottom. I do want to finish the bottom. With a forward cut. This gives me a better. I'm doing this with a C8 ball gouge. You can also do it with a half-inch spindle gouge. And it doesn't create as much. But it really a bit more vibration. Yeah. So I do prefer to go with the heavier chisel. So the lighter chisel at times isn't always the answer. And this is the easy bit. I just understand that. You see me do this because I have a big mark laden as a knee stop on it. I'm doing it there. I'll take it down just a tiny bit more, just to take this little edge off it there. Famous last words. More line for it to do. What's the timber actually? Oh. Yeah, as I say, we're putting tools on it. Tool rest. Yeah. We're fairly good enough at that on the inside. You can keep your fingers away from it. To do. Don't do anymore. If I go deeper with them, you can go with the sand, or you can go with it. Just nice and gently with 2 quarters up like that, put it to the drill and slow, and just rotate around it and clean it up perfectly. We won't do that today. Now, we're going to start to take the middle out of it. So we do need the 2 rest again. Not 2 rest. I generally use that because there's no point on it, so it says supported. Tissue paper, I think that's very good for if you had an old wetsuit. Neoprene is very good to put in there as well, a bit of it. But it's just this is just to support. Again, it's something it only takes 30 seconds to do. Bit of wax, bit of oil on the bed of your leg, give it a clean. Especially if you're turning wet timber. Take that 30 seconds. Because you're trying to move the tool rest and holding something sticking, then yeah, there was a little tiny little crack in that timber there, but I'd never worry about it. With that there, I would just put a tiny bit of super glue to it, to give it a rub, and it's done. The bottom of it, but we're not going for today, we won't. But with you, they'll probably always get that bit of hacking on the soft wood on the outer. Right, now we'll go to the big road. Won't be too aggressive. Now, we'll start to take it back. Now, this is not as difficult as it. It's going to clean it up. That sort of cut instead of using a roughing gouge. Basically, it's the same as paring the pencil. You just put it down through the grain. Now, the one place you've got to be careful with is just here. The feel is totally different coming back up. But it's the way you've got to do it. You've got to keep the strength down in the base. Just to get this out. You've got to start. The sharper blending. Yeah. You see the difference in shape between them? See them? Shorter grind. I'm not being as aggressive with a bigger grind. It's only a very sharp grind on it. So it's much more friendly. So the spring of the guy comes in there. And the shorter tourist. I actually meant to bring the very small tool rest and fit between, but yeah. I actually forgot a few pieces was done with the workshop. 7 o'clock this morning because I forgot a few bits, but now, I do like, if we're doing a demo, we have about a week before I'm in Gory now next Monday week. And it's great because I'll be prepping bits and pieces for, but I'm also making pieces that I'm prepping, you know, so I generally like to have 4 or 5 pieces prepped. I've only got 1 piece prepped for here. And the reason I have it prepped is, I have it today just in case. It can go at any time. It's not, unless I can make a mistake, but it can just go on the wood itself when it's coming down this tin. But this is the hardest part because I'm trying to put it in there. And it has happened to me a couple of times. By going back in this way, which is an ideal way to clean it out. If it slips or catches, the chisel is gone in there, and you see what happens. I find that I have a piece I brought with that, both the stem and the piece broken and doing the choke on the short piece afterwards. Keep working on this. I'm only going to put into there. To there. I'll take it out slowly. When I'm keeping this straight here, I don't want to have too much to take off at the end of at any given time. And by its nature, it's a very strong wood. At this point here, I will clean. I will clean across there, so don't do it. I'll do it with the spin you guys. If this is going to fight it being alright, we'll try to do the first cut. Now I'm happy enough to leave that near enough till the end. It can be sanded anyway. Now, back to the stem. I got to go a bit further down. No, I'm happy to put it back this way. Now we choose the diameter. If I have, and it makes it much easier if you have a tool rest that fits in there, and first you need to just be far off centre. Okay. It means that if I have to, yeah.
How do you do that with a screw chisel or is it far too risky?
If you're good with a screw chisel, you could use it, right? But don't forget, really with the screw chisel, you don't go uphill.
Yeah.
So with the screw chisel, you're coming back in onto the centre at all times. Now you can use a screw chisel if you're playing it sometimes, but when you're using the screw chisel going uphill, you're going to curve it back up like that as you're cutting. You actually kind of shear cut it up, you know. It's the same as your theory. You don't pay a pencil from the bottom up, and that's. But if I had, and maybe I will have that, and it just, if I had my, and I'm going to explain to you now in a second. I won't get this, and I know I won't get this perfectly uniform, because if I have my tool rest in there, has anyone ever used metal lathes here? If you use a metal lathe, you get this on level there, and you're the exact distance at all times. You just hold the scissors, and this will cut it, but do the same thing as running down with the edge and run the wheel down on the metal lathe. It's going to take the same diameter the whole way down. So that's, if you ever do it, put a small tool rest in the middle. I thought I had one in the house, turn this bit high there, so I'm going to have to work just in stages here now. I won't go much thinner than that, and I'll show you pieces there now that have gone much thinner. That's about a good height there now, that. Happy with that. We'll keep an edge on that. That's my important edge, that one. Did you see what I mean about the metal lathe? If you had that same distance down, find your level, find your foot, go back to this, spin together. Actually, that's it in there. Let the cat away. Where did that catch it? I have a tiny one I made for it. You ever saw my workshop? I've blades inside and outside, there's tools everywhere. I'm the best person in the world to put something on my hand and not moving 2 foot and not be able to find it. I don't know where I put things. Now, anyway, let me see the height. The height is very important here. If you're getting your cut at the right height, that looks good there. This is where we start to clean it up. Then, as I say, very important, and if you want to sand it, it is basically sand as you go along. And if you're sanding it, slow down the speed, and the artillery, that's all you do, keep your hands around it like that. You get little or no dust coming at you because you spin it back out of dust. You stand underneath that, so it'll come back up to you, so you just wrap the sandpaper around like that. All contains it inside itself. Put your powder for filling. You'll have a crash ticket. Now, I generally, and I'll tell you why I either don't stop the lathe, I generally don't, because as I get further down, sometimes start up the lathe very quick. The speed as you break the stem. There's happened to few people. We're not far from, hopefully, not getting any problems. And the next one is right down to there. And this is a little bit of change in water. I've done that cheese now when I finish. It's a wood cut. But I do know where I got it. When I bought an old lathe off, now that scissors years old, whatever steel is in it, it came with it. Awful steel or whatever it is. I don't know if it's a wood cut or is it a wood cut handle. So you see again, your bevel is on. And you see the polish of it, which is going down to it. Again, if you want to, you put your hands in the nose here like this. I'd like that stem, for what I want to do, I'd like that stem a tiny bit thinner from here. I'm going to be brave. I wouldn't say this was a totally dry bit of view, but it was It's probably down a year, more, maybe more. But I soaked it in water last night because it's just easier to work with when and there's no harm in sanding if you go down every inch, just sand it every inch. Now, try and get to the bottom. Let's reverse this around a little bit. Stop and start it up. I feel strong enough. The bit I done yesterday, we did that bit yesterday, there was a lot of vibration yesterday. It could be just a bit of wood. Again, find the pick up, come back on yourself, pick up your push there, just there. You don't try to take too much. Well, I do like to do at the end. Just to roll it around like that. Because then people can see it definitely didn't glue it in. You can see the timber coming into it. That's pretty strong there, but as you can see, it's even with the grain. See the way you're getting the same grain pattern roll up there. If you can see it, you see it afterwards, and that's where the strength is in it. Anyway, let me just do this again. That's all you ever need with anyway, is just a little up and down thing. She's a tiny bit high there. Be brave again, just a tiny bit. We're going to stand in a few minutes. Why? Find out why it's a bit of water coming back now. Why it's kind of important to get this as thin as possible. Now, we're going to part that off. This is where we have to hope it will okay. Yeah, I have to go back into it. I keep sharpening this. Is it different? Look at the top of that all the time. Yeah, go back and look at my parting tool. Generally what I'd often do with the parting tool is, I take a little bit more off this edge, so I'm going back in, I'm going to lean on the bottom edge, because if you go back in to get a catch, you'll tear it. Okay. Oh, Raven, do what you normally do is just throw it and catch it, and loosen this back, and go to the shot. Now, there you go. Oh, we're not finished. We have a small that we do. Here. Well, pass these down and what has your phone? Yeah? We put that in. Here's one for conversation. You can have a look at them. I'm really fond of that one because of the colours in it. There's lots more. You can go deep. And I'll put them out there for you to have a look at. There's an interesting one. How do you throw that with the little pedals? That's stuck in.
Either with a red card afterwards.
Yeah, but not the bending. You see the way you have the pedal coming up through the middle? How do you hold it when it's like that? And you put that long a stem. So if you want to put a little pedal up through the middle of it, put your tissue paper in around it, and that'll hold it. Did it here done before? I was only playing one day and I done it. Now, yeah, you're right. And the timber is wet. It does a great job on it. But it's not as easy as it looks in the drum board. Times to bend it, but you can, yeah. And as I said earlier on, the thinner you go, the much easier it is to heat it. Let me see there. Helicopter going over this way. Okay. Now, bend it on the long side because you get more balance. Isn't it? Because if you bend it on this side, she's going to twist. And if you do find that, if you had told yesterday, you might pass it around. Yeah. Yes, stand around. You will notice that she's ground right back on one side and heavy on the other, so that she will balance. This will never, which all they're going to do now is clamp it. This is a little. It baffled me initially when I got it because it doesn't turn off. It turns off when the temperature goes back down, which is probably a good thing in some ways. When the temperature hits back down, about 20 or something like that, knocks itself off. This is the stand on it, stand like that. And you can get it. It goes up to about 300, 310 degrees. And basically, what I would do with that now, if I was at home, I'd leave that soak in water for about 20 minutes up to there. And she's basically steamed down. If you look at some of them, you can see the fibres of the timber go like up and down. That's where you get the split. If you just see a split thing, you're doing just so tiny with the super glue and just stop the split. If you just want to watch where the grain is, you might see one or two in there that have to be done. It just takes a few minutes there to do. Then you'll start to bend the bottom of one, do 2 bends on it and twist it back up and in. But it does work. And you're going to split obviously the split at the back. So you got chalk, you got chalk on it. And if you wanted to come back up then, put a glove on you. Sometimes it takes 2, but you want to hold it there and twist it back up like that. Once you press it nice, it doesn't burn your fingers. But that's the kind of theory on it now, in my day. Take it out. Again, if you see the other ones there, the ones that you did get good few bends on it, which kind of probably half. When you practice getting your own, you don't think it was a demo. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the one thing about turning. The workshop is cold. You have fun. You have fun. You kind of standing in the one. I won't go there now, but that's pretty good on it. Just send it around there now. around, I think. Oh, I left that in that bag of water overnight, but I could leave it there for a couple of hours. That's really good to leave it overnight, you know, and it's bad to do wet. The problem with doing wet timber is you won't get a good finish inside the flower or the cup of it because they're going to be teared in wet timber. That's down, I said, yeah, look to the back there. The bottom of it's the bottom of that sand that might be, yeah. All you do is just stand up the sheet and take it back up a bit. But yeah, so a lot of the ones there's I call that my satellite dish. Yeah. That's the one there, 3 twists in it.
Was the yew completely dry before you soaked?
That yew was dry, but what I've done with about 10 or 12 of the branches of it, I've left them out in the rain for the last month, and we got good heavy rain, so that's the outside. So, but there's an awful difference between wet timber and green timber. Green timber has the sap in it, which automatically will let it bend. Wet timber, you're trying to make it, it's actually, if you were doing it like a cowboy hat or something like that, you wanted to fold the sides of it. No matter how much you put the timber in the water, it'll never happen. It has to be literally cut a day or two because the sap is in it, and that's what causes the curve on the 2 sides if you're doing it. Yeah, so like, the likes of that now, I have, I gave this one there last week, a thing called Evergreen Oak. And it's very like, yeah, it says green, it's kind of white with a black fleck, a brown black fleck in it. It's lovely.
It's a Colum oak.
It's hollow, yeah. But again, I give advice, don't have little bit of this, only turn it once, same as eucalyptus, and just let it form its own shape. I'm going to turn something now through the week and see what. I won't be turned now, it turned out very well. Are we finished, Pat? Yeah, I don't mind if I don't surprise you.
Okay, thanks again.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.